Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
All right, well, let's discuss our next case. This is People versus Alondra Aguilar. File number is 21383SM. Ms. Aguilar is here. She's been here at every hearing. Timothy Reed is here representing the defendant. And once again, James McWheel is here representing the St. Joseph County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Mr. Marvin's brought Mr. McWheel on board to deal with some of these cases that have been pending. I didn't misspeak. This is a 2021 case. It involves a traffic accident where two people died. And that used to be called negligent homicide, and it used to be a high court misdemeanor. It is now known as a moving violation causing death. Something like crossing the center line, speeding, careless driving, running a stop sign, running a red light, where there's an accident and a death. Allegation here, I think, is perhaps speed and crossing the center line. We discussed this previously. Embarrassingly, it took almost 3 years for Ms. Aguilar to get served with this warrant. Not that she went anywhere or did anything, but for reasons I don't completely understand, the warrant was never served until she was accidentally pulled over for a minor equipment violation. The incident was December 9th of 2020. So we're coming up on 4 full years after the fact. And as you could imagine, because of the time lapse between when this happened and where we are now, the defense was unable to examine the cars or do follow-up that they would have done had they known about this in a more timely manner. We had an extensive pretrial several weeks ago with Mr. Marvin and Mr. Reed. The matter was continued until today with the thought that a number of pieces of follow-up would be done by the prosecutor's office. I made some extensive notes about that. As I understand, that was on June 6th. As I understand it, not much or any of that has been done, but now Mr. McWheel has been brought in and he's been assigned to this case. So I'll defer to you, Mr. McWheel. What's the status here?
Your Honor, defense counsel and I have been discussing the case, and we're at least looking at the parameters of a possible resolution, but we're not there yet. And at this time, I would ask the court just to set this for trial, and hopefully in a time enough, length of time enough so that Mr. Reed and I can conclude our conversation. And if it doesn't result in a resolution, then it'll give us time to file any pretrial motions that may be necessary.
Mr. Reed, you agree?
That's accurate, Your Honor. Mr. McWheel and I have spoken about that. We definitely discussed some parameters. Not sure, hopeful that will be a fruitful resolution of the case. However, I think the court had discussed some dates out into maybe early December for a trial date, which should give us some time to get this resolved.
I would like to resolve this case one way or the other by the end of this year. It's embarrassing that it's as old as it is. And not to mention all the anguish Ms. Aguilar is going through waiting for some resolution of this case, and the families of the two men that were killed. So we settled on at least target dates of December 4th and 5th. So I'm going to set this for trial, jury trial, December 4th and 5th. I'm not even sure that's enough time for you have 21 days to file any motions.
From prior to the trial?
21 days from now. Is that not enough time?
Well, I don't know what motions to file because I don't have the witness list or any of the other information.
21 days to file witness and exhibit lists. And we've got several other issues. In a death case, the prosecution has the burden of proving the cause of death. So this could entail medical witnesses unless you're able to stipulate to that. And in an accident, we're often dealing with accident reconstructionists and accident investigators. So the witness list would include any expert witnesses.
So on that, I guess, Your Honor, I would ask that once I get the witness list, I would have additional time then to review who their expert may be and qualifications, because I may need to bring a motion at that time, depending on who is listed.
Yes.
In the summary of whatever testimony will be given.
Have you pursued an expert of your own?
Yes, I've had conversations and communications. I've not officially retained or received any reports. Part of it is waiting on, I didn't know what the prosecution, they've not endorsed any experts or any witnesses at this point. And again, that's not on Mr. Mecklio. I appreciate the fact that he's coming into this and I know he knows what he's doing. I'm just putting it out there to the court that
it's gray hair came from someplace, so I'm used to it.
Yeah, when I first met you in 1980, or yeah, you were in the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office. So I'm trying to squeeze it, and maybe I want to resolve this if I can by the end of the year. The defendant was arrested, and the case then started. We had a pretrial, then we had the first final pretrial. We adjourned this matter 2 months. Nothing has happened in the 2 months. And so, as you know, these cases are complicated.
And I guess I would just state for the record, Mr. Beck, but so the court is aware of potential motions that the defense would see is a Daubert motion regarding potential testimony, as well as the prosecution may have in limine motions regarding other testimony, but also I do, as well as a spoliation argument regarding the vehicles, spoliation of evidence. So those are motions that I see as potentials, but I've not seen their witness list or proposed exhibits to actually formulate and finalize those motions.
Daubert is the current state of the law in Michigan regarding expert witnesses and expert testimony. The plaintiff prosecution may wish to have some sort of limine motion, and a spoliation motion has to do with the fact that the evidence was disposed of before the defense ever got an opportunity to examine it, and that evidence being the cars. We had extensive discussion at the first pretrial. So I understand the defendant was driving a 2013 Kia, and a 2013 Kia does not have a black box in it.
She was in the Nissan on the other side. Both were vehicles that, according to NTSB, do not have black box.
All right. She was, anyway, we were like, where's that? Well, apparently it's not available. But there are other issues that were raised about brake failure or that sort of thing. There are other issues also about calculation of speed. All right. So I'm trying to work on the time frames, which there isn't a lot of time. 21 days to file witness and exhibit lists, 21 days to file any motions. That's 62 days. You file a motion, they get to respond. You know, we're almost at our trial date. All right, we aren't, if the date has to be adjourned, so be it. But what this additional investigation may do would be to narrow the issues for each of the parties, give the prosecutor an opportunity to discuss settlement, and see if it can be resolved short of a trial. We're not unwilling to do a trial. Mr. Mecklio has done several of these in the last few years just in our county. I know Mr. Reed has done some. They're among the most difficult trials we have in district court. All right, anything else I should put in here?
I don't believe so, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
What I was told last time is that no civil case was filed and the statute of limitations had passed.
And that was an error. I'm not come further digging that. There was a case, it was resolved and settled. So
As to both of the deceased?
Both decedents, yes. I actually spoke to the plaintiff's attorney.
And perhaps the prosecutor could benefit from that also. All right, I'll do my pretrial order. That's right here.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Aguilar, you've made every court appearance. You're not a flight risk. You've got no criminal record. But this case is going to inch its way forward. So stay in contact with your lawyer.
All right. Going out the hallway. I'll be right out. Okay.